Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL prediction segment, I'm going to be giving you my picks and analysis for Week 4 of the 2016 NFL season. So let me get started. First game, I like the Cincinnati Bengals at home over the Miami Dolphins. Cincinnati has not played to their potential in the last two games. They're number 27 in rushing offense, which is not stellar, of course, but they do have quarterback Andy Dalton, and they have their wide receiver A.J. Green. Now, Miami is number 32 in run defense, so despite Cincinnati's putrid as far as their run offense goes, really, they may be able to at least have a really respectable game as far as their running game goes. Miami does have someone by the name of Jarvis Landry. He's got 24 receptions right now for 314 yards. He's been a surprise. Quarterback Ryan Tannehill is certainly no slouch at QB. But I think Cincinnati will have urgency in this game. They are 1-2 right now. They don't want to start off 1-3. There's just too much talent on this team to do so, and I do like Cincinnati to win this game at home. Now, the next game. I'm going to take Indianapolis. I guess you could say it's technically a road game on the road against Jacksonville. This game will be played at London, and maybe these bridges are starting to fall down for the Jacksonville Jaguars, so to speak. Indianapolis right now, okay, quarterback Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton really had a very solid game, and I think they're starting to get it together, and that game is going to help them hopefully build some momentum. I don't think they need a lot of momentum to go against the Jaguars. I know that Jacksonville did blow them out last season. I think Jacksonville scored like 51 points against Indy. However, Andrew Luck is 5-1 versus the Jaguars in his career. Jacksonville, okay, they're technically the home team. They got that going for them, but not much else. They're only averaging 55 rushing yards per game, and they are giving up 28 points per game. Indy has respectable run defense, number 13 in the league. I think that will be good enough, and also with Andrew Luck. T.Y. Hilton will be too much for the Jags. I'm picking Indy to win this game. Now the next game, I'm going to take the Houston Texans at home over the Tennessee Titans. Right now, Houston just comes off a demoralizing loss, 27-0 to the New England Patriots. The Patriots, as many of you may know, they were down to their third-string quarterback. Houston and Tennessee are tied for dead last in scoring offense in the NFL at 14 points per game. Tennessee is 6-29 last 35 games overall, 1-7 in the last 8 versus the Texans. A number of those games were very solid wins for the Texans. Were won by 14 or more points, I believe. So really, to me, I really do like Houston to win this one. Tennessee, what they have going for them is the familiarity. It's a divisional game. But right now, I think Houston is going to come out really on fire because they do want to make amends for that dreadful loss they have. They are at home. They've had Tennessee's number over last 8 seasons. Last four seasons or so. So anyway, I'm going to pick Houston to win over Tennessee. Now the next game, I'm going to take the Washington Redskins over the Cleveland Browns. Washington right now, last week they played with some urgency. They played very well last week, and really, this is a team right now, okay, they are averaging, as far as, I thought it was interesting, as far as the kick return game goes, they're averaging 17.5 yards per kick return. I thought it's an interesting stat because I think a lot of people really overlook and become oblivious to these stats, and the main focus is on offense and defense. But in this kind of game, we have two teams this season that have not played well. Washington and Cleveland overall have not really been that impressive. Cleveland is only averaging 4.3 yards for punt return, while Washington's at 17.5 per return. This could be a game where this field position might figure more prominently than in most other games. And anyway, Cleveland with their third stringer Cody Kessler did play. He was very efficient last week, and Cleveland has had moderate success against the NFC despite really having an abhorrent record in recent time. They are 4-4 in the last 8 versus the NFC. That being said, Washington is at home. I think they are good enough to beat the Cleveland Browns. I think it's just a general talent standpoint. They are better. So, and they are at home, and I am picking the Redskins to win this one at home. Now, the next game. Well, I was debating back and forth on this for a while. I was originally going to pick Seattle to beat the Jets, but I'm going to go with the New York Jets to win this one at home. Wide receiver Brandon Marshall really did not have a great game the last game he played. 27 yards only receiving yards. I don't think that's going to happen again. The Jets, I mean, uncharacteristically, they committed 8 turnovers last week. Ryan Fitzpatrick, as many of you may know, threw 6 interceptions. And if I'm not mistaken, Pro Football Focus, according to ESPN, had stated at least that was one of the worst quarterback performances ever by anybody. If I'm not mistaken, you might want to check that out. But so much for the Jets' vaunted offense, perhaps. The thing about this is, okay, Seattle's a very good team, but quarterback Russell Wilson, his status is questionable. He may not even play, and if he plays, he probably won't be 100%. And Seattle is not really, I mean, the exception of the last game they played, they have not really been blowing away anybody. And the thing about it is, now, Seattle has surreptitiously averaged 12.3 points as far as the scoring defense goes. Now, they have played very well on the defensive end, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to put enough points up in this game. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick for the Jets, he's going to redeem himself. I think the Jets have enough pride. They're going to be at home, and they know that was a very demoralizing loss they had in last week, and I do see them bouncing back and winning this one. And anyway, I'm going to take the Jets to win this at home. Now, the next game. Well, I'm going to take the New England Patriots at home to win over the Buffalo Bills. New England, really, what's going unnoticed, I think, with New England, I understand that the third-string quarterback they had last week did play very well. He was very efficient. But what's happening with New England, too, is that their rushing game has been astounding. They're number 1 in rushing offense in the NFL at 150.7 yards per game. Running back LeGarrette Blount has played, I mean, he's been phenomenal, really. He's 298 rushing yards. He's played very well. Now, with Buffalo is 1-14 in the last 15 games at New England. Now, Tyrod Taylor, he played very well last week. The game, week 2 of the season, the Bills did manage 31 points in that game. Buffalo is capable of generating some offense, and they may make this closer than a lot of people think. Quarterback Tyrod Taylor is not bad. And on another note, I thought it was interesting that Zach Brown is one of the leaders in the NFL in tackles, but if New England has its way and they have a dominant offensive performance, he might be doing a lot of tackling in this game. But anyway, I do like New England to win this one at home. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons at home to win over Carolina. Now, really, this game, before the season started, I would have picked Carolina in a heartbeat, but Carolina looks like they're struggling a little bit right now. They're only 1-2. Atlanta right now is number 1 in total offense and scoring offense. They put up 45 points last week, and I believe 35 the week before, which would be 80 points in the last 2 games. So we have quarterback Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, receiver. You always seem to have that chance because of that offense. Now they're also number 1 in passing yards. And Carolina now 1-2. They've given up about 23 points per game, and one of their bright spots is still Mr. Consistency linebacker Luke Kuechly, who, he has played very well. He has 34 tackles, I believe, at least he is up there among the league leaders in tackles right now, and I believe 1 interception as well. So he has really been a bright spot for the team. Carolina, could anyone envision that they might be 1-3 after 4 games? But I think it's very conceivable, and I do like Atlanta to win this one at home. Now the next game, I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens to win this one at home over the Oakland Raiders. Now, the Baltimore Ravens, I always joke about the ravenous defense. It looks like it could very well be back. They have not been winning really, as they say, pretty. It's been somewhat ugly. Their average margin of victory has been by about 4 points in their 3 victories. However, the Baltimore Ravens, they are playing very well at a very good defensive level. They're not. This is a team with Terrell Suggs. I think that has helped the team immensely, and really they are playing very well on the defensive side right now. And you have an efficient quarterback with Joe Flacco, very consistent, and that always helps as well. Now Oakland, this is a team. Well, which team is going to show up? Oakland has flip-flopped wins and losses the last 3 games. They win one, lose one, win one. Maybe it's time they're going to lose one based on that pattern. And surprisingly, Tennessee held Oakland scoreless in the last 2 quarters of that last game. So Oakland came out like world beaters on offense in that first half of the game against Tennessee, scoring 17 points in the first half. Then nothing happened in the second half. What's going to happen in this game? Well, it's a little bit unpredictable. And as far as their offense goes, I like what wide receiver Michael Crabtree is very good. David Carr is shown to be an exceptional quarterback. This game, though, is on the road. This is at Baltimore, and Baltimore has played very well this season, and I do like their prospects in winning. I am going to pick Baltimore to win this one. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Detroit Lions to win on the road against Chicago. Detroit has dominated the Bears in recent time. They are 6-0 against Chicago in the last 6 games. They have wide receiver Marvin Jones. He has 408 receiving yards right now and 9 receptions for over 20 yards. So he's got very good breakaway ability and speed. And you have the Chicago Bears right now that are struggling, to say the least. They're only averaging 15 points per game. They're dead last in time of possession. They're not really even retaining possession of the ball that long. Chicago losing the last 6 to Detroit. And this is a team really, and also their point differential, minus 38. They might very well be the worst team in the NFL right now. And to me, I understand Chicago might come out with some urgency in this game. I'm not sure if quarterback Jay Cutler is even playing in this game or not, if his status might be questionable. But either way, I do like Detroit to win this one on the road. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Denver Broncos to win on the road over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Denver Broncos right now, quarterback Trevor Siemian had a solid game last week against the Cincinnati Bengals. Denver shows they could beat upper echelon teams. It's kind of like Peyton Who right now for Denver. And the defense is still solid, led by Von Miller. He's the leader in the NFL in sacks right now. Tampa Bay, they've thrown 6 interceptions right now. They are, as far as their scoring defense, they're giving up nearly 34 points per game right now. And I think it's just going to, for me, I think when you look at this game, I think it's just going to be about Tampa Bay having a hard time stopping Denver. And the Denver defense, I think, is stronger than Tampa Bay's offense at this stage of the game. Denver is the reigning Super Bowl champions. Tampa Bay is struggling. Denver can win on the road, and they they did so against Cincinnati last week, I think they could do so against Tampa Bay. So I like the Broncos to win in this one. Now the next game, I take the Arizona Cardinals to win this one at home over the Los Angeles Rams. Arizona Cardinals right now, okay, they may have lost last week, but they are still 20-6 at home. They still have Carson Palmer and Larry Fitzgerald, a very lethal combination. I think the cornerback for Arizona, Marcus Cooper, should play very well against whoever he is covering on the Los Angeles Rams. Now, Todd Gurley, the running back for the Rams, if he gets, I think the key for Los Angeles to have a shot in this game is for him to get going early, try to dominate time of possession, keep the ball out of Arizona's hands. The Los Angeles Rams have actually played well the last two games. They defeated Tampa Bay last week, and before that they shut down Seattle in that game, and Los Angeles Rams might be competitive this season, and they are playing a divisional foe, so they have that in their favor. But Arizona, I don't see them starting out 1-3. I do believe they will come back and they will win this game and even their record at 2-2 on the season. I do like Arizona to win. Now, next game, I'm going to take the San Diego Chargers to win at home. Now, San Diego, they've squandered two leads, I believe, late in games. Last week they played well, but just not quite well enough to beat Indianapolis. They couldn't sustain the lead. Indy came back late in the game. San Diego is now 1-2, but they do have an advantage over New Orleans. I don't mean just the home field advantage. They actually have won a game. New Orleans gave up 45 points last week to Atlanta. The defense just looks lamentable, to say the least. They look like they just can't really stop anybody at this point. And now, if it wasn't for quarterback Drew Brees and their offense, New Orleans would have no shot. They do have a little bit of a shot. New Orleans is number 32 right now in scoring defense, I believe, and number 31 in total defense. Now, actually, I'm sorry, they're number 31 in total and scoring defense, but still they're very low, and they really haven't improved much, if any, since last season. And for me, I do like San Diego to win at home. I think Philip Rivers will have a good game against New Orleans. The offense will play well enough because New Orleans just can't stop anybody right now, and San Diego still has a very strong offense. I like San Diego to win at home. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers to win at home over the Dallas Cowboys. Now, San Francisco 49ers, they seem to have this proclivity to win these games at home where you don't think they're going to win, when they're like maybe an underdog at home. Now, quarterback Blaine Gabbert has been efficient. 49ers are actually 5-4 at home in their last 9 games, despite not playing well in recent time. They have not been that bad at home in recent games. And Dallas right now, quarterback Prescott, now he has actually been very efficient. And another thing too is that Dallas has not lost a road game to San Francisco in some time. I don't have the exact stat on it, but it has been a number of games. But I think San Francisco can break that streak in this particular game. They have been respectable at home in recent seasons. And I do believe, you look at Dallas, they're number 23 right now. I believe it's their pass defense. And San Francisco might be able to get some yardage with Blaine Gabbert and company in this game. And I think that they could put up some good passing numbers and help propel them to victory. So I do like San Francisco to win this one at home. Now, Pittsburgh is going to be at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. Makes this game a very compelling matchup because you have two teams that have very strong Super Bowl aspirations. As many of you may know, Pittsburgh got trounced last week 34-3. I mean, they just showed ineptitude on offense, defense. It looked like they couldn't do anything to stop Sproles on Philadelphia. And really, after that loss and the fact that Le'Veon Bell is going to be coming back into the lineup, I think that does give the Steelers an advantage. And really, coming off a loss like that, it's hard for me to envision that the Steelers are just going to go flat and not play well. I do see the Steelers being very resilient, bouncing back and winning this game. Now, Kansas City, I mean, they did just the opposite. They had a tremendous game last week against the Jets. They forced 8 turnovers. They got 6 interceptions in that game. And Marcus Peters has 4 interceptions, leads the NFL right now, and that's so. The defense in Kansas City will likely make this game very close. Kansas City is just a very well-balanced team. They don't really blow you away really in any specific category, it seems like, but they just seem to play every position, every aspect and facet of the game just well enough to enable them to win. And I think in this game you'll see that type of game from them. But Pittsburgh right now is just going to be a team right now that really wants to make atonement and really make amends for their really lackluster performance last week. They are at home, and I don't think they're going to disappoint the crowd. It'll be Le'Veon Bell's return, and I see the Steelers winning this one. So I like the Steelers to win this game. Now, last but not least, the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to take them at home against my New York Giants. I mean, as you know, you got to take emotion out of the equation here. I mean, Giants are my sentimental pick, but I am picking the Vikings to win. Sam Bradford has been very efficient for the Vikings. They're doing this with one of the really an inept run game right now with Adrian Peterson out. The Vikings are showing that they can win with an efficient quarterback, a solid passing game, and also having a great defense. Now, the Minnesota Vikings are leading the NFL in sacks with 15 right now, and they're number 3 in scoring defense. And this is what's getting it done for them right now. The New York Giants right now, if I'm not mistaken, they have no defensive interceptions. They're going to have to make a big play, I believe, to win this game. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be on Monday night. It'll be at Minnesota. And the Giants right now, I mean, they have a very good offense with receivers, Odell Beckham and Cruz on the team. And Eli Manning, I believe, is a future Hall of Fame quarterback. But the Giants, to me, right now, okay, I know they won their first 2 games. They were tight ones. And then they lose that last one to Washington at the end. Their games are very tight. What this tells me is this game should be pretty close as well. But there's one thing to take into consideration in this game. With Minnesota, okay, my picks are not based on the spread. You know, I just pick the games outright, win or lose. However, it's interesting to note that Minnesota is 16-3 against the spread right now. In the last 19 regular season games, 16-3. So they've covered 16 of 19. So if they're favored in this game, which I'm sure they will be, being at home and being 3-0 versus the Giants' 2-1 record, they're likely going to win. They're going to win the game likely, and they would probably cover the spread in all likelihood. Just something to think about. Very interesting. And right now, with the way that these games are going, they're so unpredictable. I wouldn't be really flabbergasted or shocked if my Giants won. But I do like the way that Minnesota's going. And there's one final note I want to get on. I get kind of a kick out of it. I know some of you may have seen some of these videos on YouTube about this prophecy about the Colts and the Vikings being destined to play each other in the next Super Bowl coming up. Well, I could, for some numerology reason or something. Well, really, the Vikings may get in. It's early yet. I do like the way the Vikings are playing. I wouldn't be shocked if they made it. But the Colts, really, I mean, please, I think it's safe to say, though it's early, there are a number of teams in the AFC better than the Colts, including the Steelers, the Chiefs, and the Broncos. So I don't think, and also the Patriots. The Colts, I mean, I'm not a prophet or medium, But I could say right now, it's almost definitely is not going to be the Colts. They might finish strong. They have a chance to win their division, but that's not going to happen. And people, please don't believe that this stuff about this prophecy and all this about there's some numerology correspondence to them winning, to the Vikings and Colts going to the Super Bowl, because the Vikings do go. It's not going to be because these people are predicting. It's because the Vikings just have a very good team, and they're just, I mean, with the exception of their running game, the Vikings do have a balanced football team right now. So, but the Colts, I would be hard pressed to say that they would go to the Super Bowl. But anyway, people, that will conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment for my picks and analysis for week 4 of the 2016 season. And until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.